debate. For more on this pledge for deeper reforms, I'm joined by Yan Wang, visiting professor at George Washington University, senior consultant to the Asian Development Bank. Welcome to Biz Asia America. Thank you for coming on. These reforms, it's been ongoing. There's a lot of expectations that they would like to see more and more of these reforms. So now we're starting to see some more details into these reforms. Vivi mentioned the urbanization plan. Tell us why that is so important.
Urbanization is an engine of growth. And also, we think that economic reform and structural transformation should be going together with the urbanization. I think several reforms are overdue. One is the reform of the hukou system for migrant workers, and they have been working in the urban area, and they should enjoy the same benefits as the urban residents to send their children to school, to enjoy the health insurance, buying housing, and also enjoy some social benefits.
Do you think these reforms, I mean, some critics would argue that the reforms need to happen faster. Some critics perhaps may argue the reforms need to happen a little more slower. What's your opinion?
I think for those reforms, we can experiment in smaller, medium-sized cities and then move on to the major cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou.
So you prefer what the government is doing now, which is to start in some of the smaller cities and test out the ideas first?
Right, yes. And secondly, they should design and implement the real estate tax system. I mean, that's a very important system, taxation for improving the social equality.
That's been very controversial, this real estate tax system. Some developers like it, some developers don't like it.
Right.
Is that the right solution for the problem?
Yes, I think China is the most unequal tax system in the world. We don't have a good income taxation system. Only 10% of people are paying their income taxes. And also, we don't have a good asset tax system. We don't have an inheritance tax system. So in implementing the real estate tax is a good way to improve income inequality.
You want more taxes. Let me ask about the manufacturing data. We've seen some weakness in that recently. The market's a little bit disappointed with it. Mm-hmm. Does weakness in the economic data speed up reforms, or does it slow down reforms?
Well, as the labor cost is rising, it is inevitable that China is going to slow down a little bit, especially labor-intensive manufacturing industries. So Justin Lin and we wrote a paper on this topic and encouraging Chinese enterprises to relocate to other countries and create jobs in low-income countries.
But how does it affect the reforms within China? Does it cause government officials to want to do things faster because of the weak data?
Yes, I think we should set the expectation right, and for the next 10 years, maybe 7% of growth rate is the new normal. So it should be the normal growth rate.
I mean, that's what we hear a lot, is this managing of expectations. A lot of people were expecting 9–10%. Now we know it's closer to around 7%. Tell us about the government's efforts to wean off of the export-driven economy and focus more on the domestic consumption. It's been a plan in place for many, many years now. How's that plan going, and is that a key part of some of these reforms?
Well, it's not going very well. And despite the government's effort, the share of consumption in GDP is not growing. So the government should implement more reforms to provide more social security to all the citizens in order for people to reduce their saving and spending more on consumption.
It's a very important topic, very big topic. We'll continue to follow it as it develops. Yan Wang, thank you very much for joining us on Biz Asia America, visiting professor from George Washington University.